Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to day 125. Today I'm being joined by Melinda Molnar. She is a frequency coach, a woman who helps people to really align with the truth of who they are so that they are experiencing the wealth that they are born to experience. Let's put it that way. Melinda just finished with Becoming the Woman, the 10-day go live experience that I recently offered out. She's also one of the souls that is moving through a 365-day live challenge. I'm a little bit ahead of everyone who we are moving together. They all started on January 1st of this year, but she's one of the people who I walk shoulder to shoulder with on this journey of going live every day for a whole year. I'm just going to see if she has found the live yet. But as I said, we are going to have a conversation about conviction. And there she is. Okay. So I'm just sending her an invitation. She's on it. Okay, we will see what's happening. We might be having some technical difficulty. It says it's adding you, Melinda. There we go.
There we go. Hello.
Hello,
Hi.
Melinda. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good.
I have to rotate my camera. Give me a second. Let me hold this
Sure.
camera here like this. But I'm good. Okay.
Amazing.
Okay.
So you likely just saw, I was just saying there that you recently came through Becoming the Woman with me, and also that you're one of the thankfully people that we get to walk shoulder to shoulder with for
Oops.
365 days.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And my gosh, the two together, what powerful spaces, programs to really hold us in our growth. Yes.
Yeah. And in our conviction in what it is that we're going to speak about today as well. Yeah.
Yes, very much so. Very much so. Because conviction by itself, it requires the grounds for you to be able to hold it. It really is stepping into that version of you and holding that knowing, that embodied knowing. You know, we can call it faith. It doesn't matter the names now, but really those are the frequency spaces we are walking where we don't doubt anymore.
Yeah.
We know it in our blood. Oof.
Yeah. It's a powerful one to work with. And what I would love to add to that is that when we choose to follow in conviction, for me at least, there can be moments of doubt. There can be moments of wavering. And that is what it's the commitment to conviction, the knowing I have that frequency within me that brings me back. It's not that the doubt is in the conviction, it's that I, at times, depending on what I'm doing, need to come back into it. It's that recalibration, that re-engagement with conviction. So I don't know if that's
Yes.
experience it or if it's a little bit different for you, because yeah.
Let me see. It's almost like, so there's enough separation between doubt and conviction. While doubt in the past would be like eating the ideas that I've had, or my self-worth, or where my self-concept was in it. Now conviction is like, that's the main path that I'm walking on. And doubts, I would say more like considerations have come in. Yeah, they changed to considerations because the really what doubt is, the doubting your truth in it can't even come deep enough because the conviction is so strong. So the consideration comes in. Yes, no, no. Going forward with conviction.
That's a really good way to say that. It's a
Thank
really,
you.
it's a good way to have. I mean, it is at a different level of
Right.
doing things. So having it as a consideration and not a doubt is definitely a really great way to say it. It's a very empowering level of self-concept, self-trust.
Yes.
You know,
Yes. Yes. That's right. Empowering level of
yeah,
self-trust. And when you walk in it, and each step you take in that space has its own coming back to you, right?
mm,
Because now you are taking steps consciously creating what you desire, and you see that life is coming back in response.
yeah,
So then that trust just deepens even more. So it's like you don't doubt anymore, because you see the result, you see the communication, you see God, universe, whatever you want to name it, communicating with you, working with you.
mm. There's all sorts of juice in that.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
and I think what is really good about it also, or really just it's actually quite grounding as well in a sense, because the doubt of self really stops being there. You know, even if what you are moving for isn't happening yet, the doubt of who you are in that process is not being wavered. That we know we've got our own back, we know we're going to be okay, we know we're going to move forward, we know we have the power to define ourselves no matter what. And that's a
yes,
huge piece, as somebody who used to doubt myself all the time. You know, it's a huge thing to know in
yes,
with certainty, is like, I've got myself, I'm going to be okay, even as I'm traversing things.
yes. And I also would add, as empowering it is, as easy it becomes. It's the more power that you generate in it, or you actually feel, because it comes to you, you don't work at it.
Mm,
For me, it's like I don't work at conviction, it came and it's present. The more easeful it becomes, knowing that not just I've got me, God has
yes,
got me, that I am a participant, very much welcomed and belonging and treasured participant in this unfolding of life. And when you walk with that, knowing that you are loved more than you can even imagine,
yes,
it's just like, I'm an empath. Well, most of us are empaths in this world, and a lot of physical sensations in this. And it's amazing how, as I say the words internally, it's like, yeah, uh-huh, thank you, like, love it. Like life becomes almost like, before that, maybe I was a little flower coming out of the ground, like this upward digging that we've been doing in ascension. And I come out, and all of a sudden this whole field grows around me, and I realize, oh, we're being made grown.
mm,
We have been designed to be beautiful. We have everything we need, and that then changes the whole self concept to what I'm here to be.
yeah,
And
yeah,
it's very calming. Yes, very calming to the nervous system, very like resting in peace, as internally alive, so alive.
yeah, yeah. I love that what you said there, about bringing God or the universe into it. That yes, I've got me, but I've got me because I know my back is covered. You know, it's it's just really beautiful. There was a question I wanted to ask you when you said about, um, you don't work at conviction. It appears. Did you? Is that what you said, or did you decide to say, you know what, I'm going to choose to be in conviction, and it appeared?
Um,
What was for you, or
the way it was for me, last August is when I was, the idea dropped in me to offer a frequency, not just one session, but like a whole, like a mini series, 4 days about clarity. Because a lot of people seem to look at clarity as, I just need clarity in the next step. And it came to me that it is not in the step. Clarity is where you stand. You yourself bring yourself into the bandwidth, the frequency space of clarity. So as I did that, then I went through a few months of confusion to
Get initiated.
you want to initiate it,
Yeah,
right? It had
yeah,
to be embodied.
yeah.
Here I'm going to talk about clarity. Well, then here is confusion. So now you can see the difference. And as clarity, as the 4 months was process was happening, and clarity started to become more known to me, that it really is the steps that I take. When I decided, like, okay, I then this is what it is. It's not running around looking for it, just it's in the action. And the minute I took the action, and then next day I took the action, conviction, it's like just picked me up. It came into my system, and all of a sudden it was a very empowering, oh, this is it. So what I mean that I don't work on it is, I don't go and look at conviction every day and say, how can I stand back into you? It has moved into my body, into my knowing.
I love that. So it's like almost you activated a soul frequency within yourself, and it's just
Yes.
available. You've
Yes.
coded it in, it's there. That's
Yes. And thank you for bringing that, because I have been working on laying the frequency baseboard or ground, and that has been like, how do I offer that in courses? And the course that I'm leading people through now, that is the offer in it. And you're right, laying it down and coding it in you. Like, this is here. This is, I claim this into this lifetime, into this body,
Mhm.
to carry me, to stand with it, to walk with it.
Yeah, because it's all available.
It's all
All the
available.
experience from our inside out is available.
Yes, anybody can generate any frequencies,
Mm.
and the embodiment process, I believe, now that we see that, I believe that people who haven't experienced coding themselves and seeing the results, they may say, well, I try to generate, let's say, the frequency of, I'm just going to say courage, but today I felt good, but then after that I didn't. It has to go through the embodiment, so it has to make that space, and anything that does not match that frequency in your system has to reshape, reconstruct, exit. And like I said, for me, the clarity part took 4 months, and living in confusion for 4 months is definitely not a sign that I'm in clarity.
Yeah,
It, when you're in it, you're not seeing out. It's like, what is going on? But I had the knowing that I'm still working on clarity. I just can't see it.
yeah,
So yes, it took that long for the embodiment to release enough things that, the old conditionings that are very confusing. It's almost the whole human templating rests on confusion. The minute we went away from, we are created in the image and likeness of God.
yeah, yeah. I love that you share that, because I think at least at certain parts of a journey that we choose to go on, we think it's going to happen really quickly all the time. We think that if we choose a frequency that we're going to source from soul, um, that it's, well, because it's from soul, it's going to be fantastic and lovely and juicy and fun and all of these things. And it's not always the case. Sometimes things happen real quick. I'm moving through something like that myself right now. It's quick, but it's still uncomfortable. It's still the body needing to embody new things, let go of old things. But when it's taking its time, this is where the mind can really, I'm just going to say it this way, can go to war with us sometimes. It can feel like battle. It can be tiring, but
Yes.
from how I see it for myself, at least, having that inner core knowing of who you are, no matter what, to come back to over and over and over, the soul identity, as I call it, that truth, is what gets you through it, is what gets you continuously, well, I'll speak for myself, gets me continuously calibrating and trusting and being in faith and knowing that my back is covered and all of those things.
Yes, I would say probably one of the most important elements is that you recalibrate daily. Okay, not once a week, not sometimes, because we forget. Let's start with that. We human beings forget, and it's not because we're old or busy. The nature of human being, we are light being blimped into this existence. I don't know how many million times per millisecond, so we seem
Real.
solid,
Yeah.
real. And when we are not in truth, in that connection of life itself, we forget.
Yeah.
And recalibrating is coming back to that space, that truth, that self. Who am I? Okay, I am this individuated consciousness in the undivided consciousness. Let me touch points, and then you feel it, right? Well, I'll speak for myself also. I feel it. I'm sure that most people perceive it in some way or another, because also we are feeling beings. That's the whole point. Being on earth is so that we feel. And so coming always back to that 0 point is a daily practice. It's a lifestyle. It's and I know many times people say, I don't have time for that. It's in your breath.
Yeah.
You have time to take one breath.
Yeah.
It's right there. It's knowing, and multiple times coming back to that a day if you feel that you've gone out of this space. And commenting on the uncomfortable part, it's been, yes, the whole ride. When you're physically working out things that don't belong in your physicality anymore, and the the frequency is being dense in the physicality, it's a movement. And when you don't allow the movement to go through, then it gets stuck. And any river that gets stuck, debris builds up. It's more dirt. Just like that in the physical body, it can get heavier. So many of us, light workers, spiritual, truth seekers, we go through, excuse me, different illnesses and diseases, and we wonder how come we're doing the work. It is working out. And that's another thing in the having the self concept. Anytime I see or feel things that people would run to the doctor with, like, okay, I'm working this out. I'm working this out. And I have worked out of my body chronic pains, multiple chronic pains that I held on to for years. And once enough self-knowing came in, like, okay, let's address this. And yes, it is uncomfortable, but the treasure that you find, there's nothing that can be like that good feeling. I'm alive. I am exactly where I'm supposed to be. I am meant to be right here, right now, hearing these words. And that is life. That is blood in the heart. That is the pump of yes.
Yes. And as I would say it, it's living as an ignited soul. It's
Yes.
that you're alive. And the more we move through iterations of that, the more accomplished, shall I say, we become in it. That we can be losing our minds and yet knowing exactly what is going on,
Yes.
Whereas before it would take me out, because it was so much. And there was something else that came to mind as well, is that I feel for me personally, what has taken me so long on my own personal evolution was that I had for whatever reason decided unconsciously to not calibrate every day. I would calibrate and look to the outside world to shift and then decide whether it was working or not. That
Ah,
it's the inner calibration. I can now be in a conversation with somebody and be realigning myself. I don't need to, I still do, but I don't need to be on a meditation pillow. I still do that, but I can be in conversation, I can be on a walk, I can be with a client, I can be anything and do it. But that has come from the commitment and the conviction of doing this every day to find out
exactly.
more so than to find out what I can get, you know.
Yes, and this is a very, very important point. And you either know it or you don't know it yet. You
Mm-hmm.
either have experienced it or you're just thinking in the mind that you can or can't do
Yeah.
it. And yes, coming to the point where we calibrate as we go. And like you said, during a conversation, oh, this feels uncomfortable. In the past, I would have ran, okay, I need to go to my room and recollect. And now, right now, in this split second, what have I forgotten? Why is this hurting? Where am I? Okay, there's my truth. How do I want this to go? What and I do call on help
Mm-hmm.
at times, like, okay, it feels like this is hurting, this is hard for me. God, Christ, universe, it doesn't matter what you name it, it's the
Yeah.
relationship, right? It's and that is the relationship that you cultivate every day when you come to that space.
Yeah.
So it's like immediately like I touch on you, that's right, there's the remembrance. Okay, recalibrate, speaking from this space. It's transparent, it's spacious, so it allows people to speak. And here's the intention. This is the intention. I put it forth. I'm not pulling back, retracting because somebody or you said something that was coming from a conditioned
Mm-hmm.
space. And especially if it's projecting at me, that's okay. I know it's not true. This is what's true. I am saying this. And that truth will, let me see, I don't want misunderstanding here where what you say is the best and the highest, but the truth is higher resonance has natural authority. Truth has the highest authority. Now, what is truth? You know, my truth can be different from your truth, from somebody else's truth. It's just simply your truth. People feel that, people know that, and when they hear you speak from that, you can come and say, okay, I see it this way and that way, but we're both connecting on truth. We're
Yeah.
connecting on that heart level, and that is the space, that is our heaven. And that what we're doing in this whole thing, in this, you know, not just becoming convinced, not just releasing limiting beliefs, we are recognizing that we are divinity in body, and we have the option, and now we're choosing to live heaven on earth. And that is right here. That is, you know, sharing that by speaking it. And there is the conviction. I am convinced that's the space I'm standing in.
I love that. You know, I'm just so in the room
Well,
that
that.
you were speaking. I love it. And you know, you said there about just respond or reacting from a conditioned place. That if and when we do, because we're human and all those things, but the refractory period of how long you might stay in a conditioned reaction just lessens and lessens and lessens because your awareness is there. You can notice in your body that something is off here. You can feel it really quickly, the knot that might come back or the tightness or whatever. And it's like, okay, right, I've reacted some way here. And it's some conditioned thing. So let's give it space so I can open back up again. Let's move it through the system or simply put it down, whichever is most relevant for it. Um, but yeah, it's
Yes. And that's such an important part that you touched on, that you immediately feel it. I remember years ago when I started to believe or that my teachings are embodiment. And every time I would say that to people, they're like, well, what is that? Like, well, embodiment, like bringing what we know, bringing this divinity into the body, in allowing it to come into the body. And all of my practices are, and what I teach is to tune into your body, feel that divinity. Sometimes you can like actually like allow it to come deeper. Like for me, there's a sensory perception when I'm opening myself up to come deeper. And then when like my spirit like takes a step, it's different than a minute before, when I, Melinda, the lower self me, the still somewhat conditioned or forgetful parts of me, was taking steps without, you know, just how I do. But when spirit is in body, it's like a almost like a an awe, like I am in body. This is beautiful. So when you connect that into yourself, when you code the memory of it, that this is how I want to walk, and also your mental knowing of yourself is right there, and your emotional knowing, then you walk as a family within you, because God, universe is relational. We're family. There's no one human being. And the minute you step out of it, there is an internal alarm. Hello, something's off. So yes, it becomes immediate. And then you can come back. And when you're convinced, it's easy to come back because you know where you are, you know your truth. So instead of doing these kind of things, now it's like and you keep walking that straight line. And the more you do, just the stronger you become. It your light, you do become the beacon. It just physics.
Yeah.
It's simply physics.
I just love this conversation. I think we could
I
talk
do too.
for about 2 hours.
I do too. I don't have a time limit for now. I think this is actually a very thorough and deep conversation. We going through so many parts of it as to the stages of ascension, and really what's available for people, for those who are still in that pain, in that daily pain, that almost like this is how life is, where my mind loops, and my relationship with my loved one isn't the best, and I feel like I'm stuck at work, like all those. I don't know whether you personally have gone through those, but I have
Oh,
gone
yeah.
through all of
Yeah.
those. When you are conditioned away from truths, everything in your surrounding, all your relationships, your relationship to yourself is then conditioned and away from truth. And it hurts. Ultimately, not being in truth hurts in whatever ways. For some people more than others. Then we go deeper then into abuse. It's all abuse, but there are deeper parts. And when you desire to do this work, and when you do it and you take the steps, you do come to a living, a being in fulfillment, in love, in peace, in joy, in excitement, all in one, in a very peaceful, deep space that lives from connection. Like here, I'm right here in me, but behind me, there's heaven. Like right here in me, like before my back is reached, there's heaven.
I love it. I just love it. I love it. I think what's just come to mind, Melinda, it would be so nice to do a little series of these conversations potentially.
Let's do that. Yes,
Yeah.
I would love
It's
that.
one big long one. Let's just do a series of them if you feel
Yes.
called to that, or we can talk between ourselves. But
Yeah,
I
let's do that. I think
really love it.
that will bring a lot of value to
Yeah.
people. Yes, because it, it is one thing when we do our own lives, but in conversation, we have so much coming out. So yes, I would love that.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much. I loved it. I do try and keep
Thank
my
you.
conversations to about 30 minutes. I probably should have said that too. But it just to, hold the space. But
Yes.
loved this, and I literally could talk about this all day, every day. So
Yes, me
yeah,
too. Me too. And we wouldn't get to the end of it. That's
no,
what's
there'd
wonderful, that
always be,
life
there'd be,
goes on forever.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would you share this to my profile too, please?
100%. Yeah, I'll share it on to you.
Okay.
I'll message you in the background and I'll let you know when it's done.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And I hope all of your people listening on your platform and then on mine too, that feel feel this, that take some pieces, golden keys. There were a
Mm,
lot of nuggets dropped in here, and comment, say something. How does this land for you?
I love that. There's been a lot that truth frequency that was weaved in here. A lot can shift
Yeah.
into that.
Yes.
So yeah, I love it. Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you very much,
and if
Joanne.
anyone has watched this and or when you do watch it, if you have any questions, message me or Melinda. We'll happily let you know our answers or do a live about the answer either. We could do that too. So
Yes.
thank you, Melinda. All right.
Thank you.
See
Bye bye.
you later.